though. The fall off of Mega Meganium has to be studied. I think this thing has like just as bad chances of winning as any of the other Megas.
I thought you were dead.
My death was greatly exaggerated. So, you're the punk I've heard about.
Well, a little more oomph on that one than last time. Hello and welcome, or welcome back to the channel. If you've not been here before, my name is Pete, and this is a series called WifeMons, where I play competitive Pokemon battles in either a ranked or a tournament setting, using niche, underused, or just bad Pokemon that my partner and friends like and then ask me to do the challenge with. So, as I'm sure you saw by the intro, today's video is going to be covering Mega Meganium, so without further ado, let's get started. We'll do a quick little team breakdown, and of course we've got to start with the feature mon herself, Mega Meganium. We're rocking Solar Beam and Weather Ball, pretty standard, but I'm actually going with Ancient Power over Dazzling Gleam. I'll say it, I hate Dazzling Gleam. I think that button is buns. It's 60 base power after the spread multiplier. It does the same amount of damage to a Garchomp when it's super effective that Solar Beam does. I just don't want to click it. Like, having spread damage is nice, but Ancient Power gives us something to do against Charizard, who obviously, if you've played Pokemon Champions, you can expect to fight a lot of. It doesn't pick up the one-hit knockout, but in the rain, it does mean you trade favorably because you two-hit KO and they do not two-hit KO you. So, I think it could get some value. We'll see if it does in today's games. We've got Politoed as our range setter, rocking a Choice Scarf set. Scarf Politoed's kind of a demon, man. It outspeeds the base 130s and even... No, I think it's just the base 130s because you hit 201 speed, which would be like Gengar and Aerodactyl speed here. But a lot of the Delphox you would see who are able to outspeed it are running slightly slower and more bulk and that sort of thing, so you can somewhat reliably outspeed those guys as well. Basculegion will go in Life Orb Swift Swim as opposed to something like Scarf Adaptability. The team lacks like a super potent upper speed ceiling because Politoed only hits 201. And we also don't have like Tailwind or anything, we only have Icy Wind, and so having a way to immediately double our speed and outspeed things like Scarf Garchomps and faster Choice Scarf Pokemon is really nice, and Life Orb gives you the damage boost that you'd be missing with Adaptability. Standard Artralodon here, not a whole ton to talk about, except that we are running Aura Sphere over something like Flash Cannon, just as sort of insurance into the mirror. With Swift Swim Basculegion, we're EV to be 1 point faster than opposing Adamant Mega Swampert if the rain is up. And then with Aura Sphere Artralodon, we should always, and the speed investment we have on it, we should always win a 1v1 against opposing Artralodon, which is nice. Fergraph is actually offensive here, running Twin Beam and Hyper Voice and not a lot of bulk investment. The idea here is you don't necessarily need the bulk. This isn't a hard Trick Room team or anything like that. Fergraph is more here for Armor Tail and to cover for poison types for Meganium, and so having the offensive investment is actually Oko, Sash Grimora, and Sash Sneasler. With Twin Beam is really nice. Hyper Voice is just decent spread damage, and then Rain Dance is interesting tech. There are some matchups where you might want to play for like a fake out Trick Room kind of game plan. And then the Rain Dance allows you to enable Rain for Artralodon in Trick Room, or on like the last turn of Trick Room, if you're expecting your opponent to double protect, you can Rain Dance and double Basculegion speed for the following turn, which is pretty cool. And then Grimmsnarl is very atypical here. We're actually running a wider offensive Grimmsnarl. The idea here is with Play Rough, we can hopefully make up for the lack of fairy damage on Meganium, and also I sometimes like to lead Grimmsnarl Fergraph into fast-paced Staraptor teams, and with the White Herb you can cleanse the Intimidate, fake out the Staraptor, click Trick Room, and then threaten a one-hit knockout with Play Rough the next turn. Obviously we have to have Parting Shot so that we can Parting Shot out on turn 1 into opposing weather and bring our Politoed in and guaranteed win the turn 1 Weather War, as long as we are Parting Shotting the Mega Evolution that could turn the weather on, like a Charizard or a Tyranitar or something like that. So team ID is up there at the top of the screen. Here are my detailed spreads if the team ID gets removed for whatever reason or you want to play on Showdown. And yeah, let's get into some games. All right, y'all. So I actually did all of my testing for this team building process in Showdown. So I believe we should still be on the win streak that we were on at the end of last video. So we'll see if we can continue it here. We're fighting Young Beef, cool name, facing down Charizard, King Gambit, Garchomp, Floette, Basculegion, and Whimsicott. So this is what some people are calling Big Six, but with Sylveon over Floette, with solo Mega Charizard, who we should expect to see. All right. As far as speed ceiling goes, it could be Scarf Basculegion. They've obviously got Tailwind, which can be pretty difficult for our own Swift Swim guy. How do I want to approach this matchup? Meganium beats everything that isn't Charizard or Sylveon. So we can go Grimmsnarl on lead. We'll be able to cover for any sort of weather on turn 1. With Basque Legion, who, if the weather is up, would cover both the Sylveon and the Charizard. And then we go Meganium Politoed back. I think this should be interesting. Let's see. 1698 is their rating. Garchomp King Gambit. Okay. So obviously they are threatening a Sucker Punch into our Basque Legion on turn 1. We don't know their item. They're typically a defensive item on this team, so I would expect our Basque Legion to survive 1. We have Fake Out, which they might not be expecting. I think I'm probably happy to just go Play Rough into Garchomp and switch to Meganium. What's the punish for this? Like, we don't take a ton from Kowtow, although before Mega Evolving, Meganium's actually not that bulky, so it's probably not as comfortable as we'd like it to be. But I obviously don't want to switch in Politoed, and then have to, you know, risk Charizard coming out after the Play Rough and then immediately resetting our weather. So they Sucker Punch, which is best case scenario, and then Garchomp is going to get like a Stomping Tantrum off into Grimmsnarl. We should live this reasonably comfortably. That Grimmsnarl without screens is just not as bulky as you think he is. And then Play Rough should come out, and as long as we connect, we can expect Garchomp to go down. Beautiful. Do we live? The Rough Skin Recore, we didn't take that much, did we? Okay, yeah, we're good. So Garchomp down, Meganium in to threaten the King Gambit. And we would expect probably Charizard if they have it. Yeah, that is fine with me. So this is why we have Grimmsnarl on the team, right? Charizard can either Mega Evolve or not Mega Evolve, right? But if he doesn't Mega Evolve, then he's just super unthreatening on this turn in particular. So we can go for Parting Shot into you to ensure that we have Rain up this turn, Mega Evolve, and Weather Ball the King Gambit, which should KO unless they are Akaberry or have like a ton of Spit Up investment. We are not Modest Meganium, we're actually Timid Max Speed. I find that the speed is quite nice for outspeeding a lot of things that would commonly threaten Meganium, like Modest Golden Go is a very good example. Modest Glamora is another one. So we're actually faster than some Charizards as well, the ones who run super bulky to try to live Rock Slides from Garchomp. So we'll kind of see our speed interaction here. We Parting Shot the Charizard. They actually don't Mega Evolve, which is the correct play. So because of that, I'm wondering if I just don't even want to bring out the Basque Legion, the Politoed here. I'm wondering if, like... No, because if we go Politoed, we force the... If we go Politoed, we force the Mega Evolution next turn. We can, like, Icy Wind plus... Yeah, I think I'm just going to go Politoed, right? This reduces the damage of a Heat Wave or something like that. So they do Heat Wave. This shouldn't do very much. Yeah, I mean, look at that damage in the Rain, man, from base Charizard. They even crit the Politoed. And then we should see Weather Ball next, which is still a Fire-type move in the Sun, or in the Rain, rather, thanks to our Mega Soul ability, and it does just pick up the one-hit knockout onto King Gambit, so that is a good turn for us. We have obviously lost next turn's Weather War, right, and we did see that they are actually faster on Charizard than our Meganium, which is relatively uncommon, actually. And we've set up the Rain for their Basque Legion, which is not the greatest thing in the world. I wonder... Basque Legion can win if I can keep Rain up. They're obviously threatening a lot of damage into... Can I just go for Icy Wind, Ancient Power into Charizard? Because they're faster than my Meganium, so they're probably not super bulky. I might be throwing here, but I think I'm going to try to go Icy Wind to reduce the Basque speed and Ancient Power into their Charizard. Just get damage on this. I think this, if it doesn't KO... Okay, so they protect. That is a great play. I would have expected them to Mega Evolve 100% of the time there. This is probably last respects going into Armaganium. Let's see. We dropped their speed, they were not Scarfed, now they're super slow. Ancient Power gets blocked by the Protect, and they last respects into Politoed. That's okay. Is that okay? Because we actually didn't drop their speed. So now they have Mega Evolve Weather Ball into Meganium, which should always KO. I think that Protect was a really strong play from them. I wonder if I'm ever supposed to always, like, if I'm ever supposed to just target the Basque Legion in that spot. No, I was just so sure they wouldn't Protect there, because you're not covering for Ancient Power and Meganium. Nobody's running that. And so here, I'm supposed to go Grimmsnarl, I think. We have... Okay, so we do have an out, because they just protected Charizard. So we can go for Fake Out there and Solar Beam the Basque Legion. They're obviously going to Mega Evolve, try to attack. They don't know that we have Fake Out. It's not the most common move in the world on Grimmsnarl. And we can take out the Basque Legion and then hope to win a 3v1 against the Charizard, which is not actually guaranteed. Charizard's a very strong Pokemon, as I'm sure you all know. I want to port my damage calculator here and see if Meganium can ever survive a Weather Ball from Charizard in the Sun at -1. So Fake Out comes out, that's decent damage. They Aqua Jet, but because they set up the Sun, Grimmsnarl even lives, which is nice. Charizard flinches, and we should KO with Solar Beam, unless this is a Focus Sash Basque Legion. Would you be Focus? No, you're usually Sash on the Whimsicott here. I would expect not Focus Sash. Oh, nay. Okay. Cool. So they go down. We run our calc here. We have Charizard, fast offense, Weather Ball in the Sun, does 1,000,000,000% to our Mega Meganium. Even a -1. -1 special attack. Yeah, it still KOs. Heat Wave would even KO as well, depending on how invested they are. And so I think I am supposed to Parting Shot anyway. We go Parting Shot here and Protect. Because this allows us to potentially cycle in another Parting Shot so that Basque Legion can potentially leave a Solar Beam. It also gives us the opportunity to maybe stall out Sun turns. Obviously, this would be very bad if they Solar Beamed into my Grimmsnarl slot, but I just don't think that that's a super likely play, given that they don't know our back. We could have very well been our Traludon, for example. They just Heat Wave. Hit 20% from Grimmsnarl's Fake Out. Please don't burn. No burn. Beautiful. 20% from Fake Out from Grimmsnarl. I'm so curious if that's like... that tells us anything about their level of bulk. Let's see here. Got some time to run a calc, so... yeah, there's 0 bulk investment. So we can safely go for a Wave Crash, which should still be more damage. It would just KO. So they now have to pick between this and this, which Meganium might just KO with an Ancient Power, given that they're no bulk and have taken 20%. So they Solar Beam into Basque Legion. All of our bulk is physical. They are -1. I'm curious if we survive this. We do. Beautiful. So there should be Wave Crash next, which should... oh, Ancient Power. Excuse me. I don't even know my own speed tiers. And we do beat KO because they're no bulk. Nice. So this was a great example of a game of how people say, you know, Mega Meganium is terrible into Charizard, and they're absolutely right. In a vacuum, it is not. It is not a pretty matchup, but it is very strong into the rest of the Pokemon on Charizard teams. I mean, you saw we one-shot Basque Legion. You saw we one-shot King Gambit, and, you know, we would have resisted every hit from Garchomp, which allowed us to safely switch in there. And so we're good into every other Pokemon on the team. And so if you can find a way around the Charizard or to make life awkward for the Charizard, it can definitely feel bringable into the matchup. And so that was fun. And let's get another one. Can't ask for a much better start than the Featuremon picking up 3 KOs and doing like a combined 280%. Feeling good. Let's get another one. Get ready to battle Matia. Let's see. Charizard, Typhlosion, Venusaur, Sneasler, Whimsicott, and Garchomp. So there's no sand on this team, so this is unlikely to be Mega Garchomp. I guess it could be Mega Venusaur, but on a Charizard team, you would also expect it to be just Chlorophyll, Sleep Powder stuff. 3 Pokemon could potentially be Sashed, could be Whimsicott, could be Sneasler, could be Venusaur. Given how often those grass types are often Sashed, I would expect it to probably be White Herb Sneasler, especially considering how safe Incineroar looks into the rest of their team. They likely Scarf Typhlosion. They are super duper fast paced, and they have 2 poison types, which is making me think that this is supposed to be a Farigiraf game. We can lead potentially Grimmsnarl, Farigiraf into a lot of their team. We need Politoed to reset the weather, and then it's just a matter of what attacker we would like to bring. Will it Meganium? Surely not with 2 poison types and 2 fire types, right? I'm thinking it is probably going to be Paris. We'll go from there. This is an interesting team of not super common. A lot of the pieces, like, we know what they do. It's just not like an archetype you typically plan for in the builder. They're also on a bit of a win streak. So let's see what they lead off with. Charizard Typhlosion. I was expecting something like this. This is likely Scarf Typhlosion. Who, in the sun, they frisk me, they find my Colbur Berry. I am not defensive even a little bit. And so I'm wondering if what we can do here is, because we're expecting it to be Scarfed, I'm wondering if we can just go for Trick Room and then Parting Shot into what we assume will be a Choice Scarf guy to turn the sun off and make it so Farigiraf can survive the turn. I think this is relatively safe. They do Mega Evolve immediately, which is great. The sun will activate. I'm willing to go through this play because I just don't expect the Typhlosion to be protecting. Most of the time these guys are Scarfed. Yeah. So we Parting Shot out. This guy is now -1, locking into likely Eruption in the rain. It is a little bit awkward because we're bringing out our Choice Scarf guy under Trick Room immediately. But you would expect Charizard to be switching, and our Scarf Politoed is likely slower than a Scarf Typhlosion. So this does negligible damage. We're expecting, you know, Heat Wave, Weather Ball from Charizard. It's Heat Wave. Obviously would like to dodge Burn, though it's not necessary here with 2 special attackers on the board. Trick Room does up, which is quite nice. So I would almost expect a double switch here. With the rain being up, I don't really want my Choice Scarf guy or my Swift Swim guy out under Trick Room. They don't have a switch into Twin Beam in the Charizard slot. I'm happy to go Twin Beam here. They really do need to double switch, but I'm going to go Twin Beam, and I'm going to Weather Ball. Well, who do I have to sack? It's just Grimmsnarl that I have to sack? Yeah, we're going to lock into this. This might be wrong. Yeah, they switch. We're hoping to see a poison type that we would just KO. It is Garchomp. That's not fantastic, but it's okay. Yeah, they do double switch. Into Venusaur. Great play. The Twin Beam comes out. This should be non-negligible damage into the Garchomp for sure. Good. And then Weather Ball will come out into the Venusaur. If it would have just been the other way around, man, we would have been in a very, very good position. I could have also switched out the Politoed, but this is okay. 3 turns of Trick Room are left. I personally, I'm expecting Venusaur to want to protect in this position. First, I kind of want to reverse the Trick Room, to be honest with you, and switch in Grimmsnarl. Is that crazy? Because we're just like faster than them, like if we can control the weather. And with Parting Shot and Politoed, we kind of just always can. So it's also quite, I would expect like potentially if I'm them, I'm, switching Garchomp into Charizard and then protecting Venusaur on the Twin Beam. And so this play just punishes, you know, kind of exactly that. Beautiful. And they Earth Power us. They didn't protect, so they were just going to let us Twin Beam them, which is crazy to me. But we reversed our own Trick Room. And so, what do we have here? I don't need to do the Parting Shot play here because I have Fake Out, which is relatively safe. I don't expect a Sludge Bomb to KO my Grimmsnarl. They have Typhlosion in the back. I would think Charizard might want to protect here. I think I'm happy to go Twin Beam and Fake Out into Zard. They just let us fake them out. This will be good information on their bulk. They're no bulk, just like the last one, which is interesting. Yeah, we should take 1 Sludge Bomb. We do. Is it Life Orb or is it Sashed? It's Sashed. Charizard flinches. We don't get poisoned and Twin Beam or KO the Venu. So the Sleep Powder guy is gone. Oh, it's Citrus. Should still be gone, right? Yeah, nice. Offensive Farigiraf coming in clutch in that spot. Super effective on the Venusaur. The Farigiraf had kind of done his job here. He killed the Poison type, and we don't really want Trick Room up just because we're expecting to be faster than their whole team. Basque Legion, rather, can be faster than the whole team if we can just win the Weather War. And so, this is an interesting play, because Charizard could quite easily protect. I think I want to go Hyper Voice. I could potentially Rain Dance as well. I think I want to go Hyper Voice to spread some damage. And Parting Shot into Charizard. Okay, they're going to give us the Parting Shot into Zard, so it's now -1. I was a little afraid of Protect Earthquake, is truthfully what I was a little afraid of. But we can switch into Politoed here, get some damage off with Hyper Voice, probably? I don't know, we might just die to, like, EQ plus attack of the Farigiraf. Yeah, it's EQ. We're not that bulky. I died just to EQ. Yeah, and they crit my Poly, didn't they? Okay. Yeah, Life Orb Chomp. Oh, they didn't even crit. Oh, that's not good. We just lose. Oh, we don't just lose. Oh my gosh, okay. So we get an attack off with Basque here. Beautiful. Shout out to Politoed living on 2. That's crazy. Okay. So they're going to switch the Charizard out. How much does Garchomp take from an Icy Wind from Politoed? Politoed, Scarf Offense, Garchomp. If this guy dies to Icy Wind, I think we're in an okay spot. Icy Wind does 45 to 54. Oh, that's not great. I think we have to chance it though, man. We're locking into Last Respects. We're not locking into it, but we're going to Last Respects the Zard and go for Icy Wind. And it's a roll. It's a roll heavily in our favor to KO the Garchomp. They find our Life Orb. Last Respects comes out. Swift Swim comes in clutch. This will obviously KO. It is likely to be Scarfed. Oh, and because it's single target, it shouldn't be a roll, so we just need to hit the Icy Wind. Come on, Politoed. You were clutch. You survived it too. Be clutch and land the move. Yes! Beautiful. Okay. That is Great. So Charizard will come back out. He will set up the sun. And we should have a guaranteed win here. We can protect Basculegion, sack Grimmsnarl, and always KO with a Wave Crash in the endgame. So we just have to not miss quick. Protect. And switch to Grimmsnarl. And that was well played. I did not expect that Life Orb BQ to do so much to Politoed. I guess I'm just used to like Politoads being super like Fizz Def with Citrus Berry and that sort of thing. That just did 1,000,000,000%. Luckily we survived the Heat Wave on 2 HP. I think if he would have clicked Weather Ball, he should have won, but we kind of got away with one there. We'll take it. They go for Solar Beam. We obviously make the correct play in protecting. And it should be over from here. I hope this is not my internet. I hope this is them potentially leaving the game or something like that.
I'm curious how I could have approached this game differently. So here we could just go for Wave Crash and oopsies. And I guess it's find a parting shot. It doesn't actually matter. It's the same thing. But we'll go for Wave Crash. We'll go for parting shot to the Charizard.
They can protect to stall, but it doesn't do anything. So should be in a good spot. I'm curious how we could have avoided them potentially knocking out our Politoed in that position. We're on the board. We have to parting shot. I don't know. I'll watch it. I'll watch it back and think about it. But sorry for the delay in the communicating signal. We'll probably edit these screens out and get you guys into the next game more quickly. Parting shot comes out. Charizard gets more drops, which do not matter because Politoed comes out, activates our Swift Swim, and then Wave Crash does 10,000,000,000% to the... Let's see, you finish us off, Fish.
What?
Beautiful. GG. A couple of wins against Charizard teams. Did not get to actually feature the Meganium in this game, unfortunately. I just think, 2 fire types, 2 poison types. You guys understand, right? I can't always bring the feature on. I know we got a little spoiled with Auroras, but good games, and we'll see you in the next one. Apologies again for the sort of connectivity issues in that last game, but we will proceed, keep battling. Fun fact: Mega Meganium is not nearly as low usage of a Featuremon as Auroras was in the last battle, but it has fallen off significantly since Regulation MA. I think it's down to 0.9% usage according to Munch stats, which would mean it's present in 1 in every about 55 battles in Pokemon Champions, and so definitely significantly lower than it was when the game first dropped. That there was a lot of excitement. They finally made the worst starter have something it can do, and I still think they've accomplished that. I think it's a really interesting Pokemon, and I think it has the tools to succeed in future formats or to kind of be an anti-meta piece like we're using it in this case. But we're in another battle, and we're fighting a Rain Mirror, right? 3 of the same Pokemon. They've got Mega Swampert, Artralodon, Politoed, Basculegion, Sneasler, and Vivillon. So they've got 2 setup guys, like 2 setup support pieces in Vivillon and Sneasler, which is interesting considering there's no traditional setup Pokemon outside of the Artralodon. They've only got 1 Mega Evolution, and it's at the top, which means that I'm just so certain this Swampert is coming. How do I want to approach this matchup? You don't have to bring the Politoed because you're expecting them to do it, which is quite nice. I think I might just go... So if I lead Meganium, I'm covering for Swampert. What would beat Meganium? It would be the Sneasler. And so I'm happy to go cover for that with Basculegion, go Artralodon. And then what do I want as my final? I think I will just bring the Politoed for Icy Wind. I think that could be important. It's faster than Sneasler as well, which is nice. There's an argument to be made here for Farigiraf, just for Twin Beam into Sneasler or Vivillon. but I don't think that is enough of a justification, given that we've EV trained to be faster than our opponent in this sort of matchup. So it's Vivillon or Troulon immediately into Meganium plus Basculegion. Unfortunately, something is going to sleep here, which we don't love. If I would have led Politoed off the rip, we could have potentially prevented that with our, like an Icy Wind double up into the Pokemon. So, that said, I am happy to switch Meganium into our Troulon on a potential Hurricane, even though, I'll be honest, I'd be shocked if they don't just click Sleep Powder into Basculegion here. And then I'm happy to, I think, just go for Last Respects into Viv. I expect this to do enough damage to put it in Aqua Jet KO range. Obviously, this would not be great if they just switch Politoed and Electro Shot immediately. But yeah, I was pretty sure they were going to Sleep Powder in this position and potentially, like, Flash Cannon our Meganium. And so, Flash Cannon into Basque. Okay. Fine, that doesn't do a lot of damage. Basculegion burns a sleep turn immediately, which is quite nice. So he has a chance to wake up right away, which is cool. I am quite happy to... I just don't really want to take an Electro Shot in the Basque slot is the thing. I'm thinking like you could switch Politoed out on the Basculegion and protect our Troulon. And then, like, next turn you have Icy Wind Electro Shot. But that risks them switching and Electro Shotting the Politoed. So what I'm happy to do is go for Protect and just run back the Last Respects into the Vivillon. So they don't switch. So I could have made the play I was talking about, but that's okay. We Protect on the Sleep Powder. We have a chance to wake up and break their Focus Sash. We do not. That's a little annoying, but it's okay. They Dragon Pulse my Basque. We are now below half HP. So Basque is guaranteed to wake up next turn, which is quite nice. They are going to Sleep Powder my Troulon. They could make a read and Hurricane me, but that's okay. I think I'm happy to potentially double swap here. I'm just in such a bad spot. This Vivillon is pretty annoying. I'm going to make a double switch. I'm going to predict a Sleep Powder into our Troulon again, and then I'm going to predict that they don't switch the Vivillon into Politoed and an Electro Shot. And then the next turn, I'll have Icy Wind into attack into the Vivillon. This is not a safe play by any means. I don't think this covers for everything. I feel like I'm kind of behind, and I need to make a call on what they're going to do. So Politoed switches first, which means that Vivillon is staying in. We're here. I don't expect them to make this call in like Electro Shot. Yeah, they Protect, which is super nice because now we have Icy Wind into an attack, which is great. We will be sacking our Politoed here, but I do think Politoed's probably the least important piece. We're expecting Swampert in the back, as well as I have Mega Meganium, so it definitely could be Sneasler. We kind of need Basculegion to do a lot of work in this matchup, which is not great for us. I think I'm actually happy to not Mega Evolve, so I'm not weak to Flash Cannon, and go for Icy Wind Ancient Power into the Vivillon. I don't think they're expecting my Politoed to be Scarfed at all, and they just Protected, so we would get a KO. And they would probably Electro Shot my Politoed, or Flash Cannon the Meganium, predicting me to Mega Evolve. And I just don't need to here, because Vivillon is quadruple weak to this Ancient Power. So we give them a defense boost, which we don't love. It means Basculegion will never kill that guy, but we're kind of relying on our other pieces to do that. Our Meganium and our own Troulon. And they, Electro Shot, likely Politoed. So we get the Viv. The Sleep Powder guy is down. I don't know if that will be enough to win the battle, but it's okay. Did they actually? Okay, it is the Politoed. So, goodbye Politoed. Rain is up. It will be up for 4 turns. We traded Politoed and half of Basculegion's HP for Vivillon. What that means is our Basque is now guaranteed to wake up and is guaranteed faster than everything. We're expecting White Herb on this Sneasler because it was not Scarf on Vivillon, and I don't know any other items it runs. And so, I think I want to preserve my Basque. I think I go Arch here. They send out Sneasler. Okay. This is not great, because they can CC our Trilodon and Dire Claw my Meganium. So I'm in a position where I have to make a call. Who do I need more in this game? It's so Swampert. They just dropped their own Pelipper, which is pretty difficult for me. I think I'm happy to... I'm running out of time. I'm going to switch Basque here and Electro Shot here. I think this is wrong. They probably want to CC the Arch. That's probably who they're more afraid of. No, they're definitely more... If they're Swampert back, they're definitely more afraid of Meganium. They do CC the Arch, though. We even live... We do live. We should be faster than their Arch. We're trained to be faster than most Archalodon. Are they not wider? Okay, they are wider. How much this goes down? I don't play a lot of Rain, so I actually don't know the Electro Shot into Sneasler Calc. If this goes down, we're in a very good spot. Presuming they don't KO our Basque. And even if it doesn't go down, as long as they don't KO our Basque Legion, we're in an okay position. This does not go down. They're at 12%. And they E-shot. Did they make the read on the Meganium? If so, I think the game is over. Because we're out of priority. Yeah, you wouldn't Electro Shot on our Charlotte. Yeah, well played. I was supposed to protect in that position. That's okay. The Sleep Powder guy was definitely pretty annoying for us. And they did not bring the Rain expecting us to do it, and I kind of brought it purely because of the speed tiering. And so I think that there's nothing we can do to win this one. Unless we... So we can not Mega Evolve again to not get the quadruple weakness to Sneasler. And just click Weather Ball and to maybe live a Dire Claw. And then Weather Ball it. And then we crit Aura Sphere. I think that's our out. I don't even know if a crit Aura Sphere KOs. It would obviously depend heavily on their investment. Do we live a Dire Claw without Mega Evolving? We do on exactly 1 HP. That was not intentionally EV'd for. We are faster. We do pick up the KO into Sneasler, and we know we're faster on our Trilodon. So if we happen to crit this Aura Sphere, I think we might have gotten out here. Please, our Trilodon! Please! No! Okay, a crit wouldn't have even done it. They would have been left at 80% or whatever. And it doesn't matter what they click, they KO either Pokemon here. So, well played to my opponent. We'll have them show us the last. I'm sure it's Swampert. But I'm curious if it did happen to be the Politoed. That one, do we survive? No, they're +3. Okay. Just curious who they brought out as their last Pokemon here. Basque. Oh. Well then, that was like the last option I was expecting. Okay. I was gonna say, technically if it's Swampert, it's not entirely over because we could like crit a Weather Ball into our Trilodon on their Protect and KO if they like make a mistake, but I will... Nah, I'll just surrender. I don't want to watch the mega animation time. My opponent played well. The Sleep Powder guy was definitely difficult for us. And yeah, we will get another one right away. And unfortunate we lose the 8-game streak, but okay, we're back where we were before last, and we'll finish this out hopefully on a good one. Okay. Let's try to bounce back and get a win here in our last game. So, another mirror match. So we get the run back. Not against that direct opponent, but to see if we can redeem ourselves in another Rain mirror. This time without Vivillon, notably. And so only one Mega Evolution likely in the Swampert. Don't expect the Garchomp to be Mega outside of the Sand team. Meganium is extra good here because we can get around the Rage Powder from Sinistcha and obviously kill it with the button. And so I am happy to lead Meganium, who would lose to Pelipper. So I'm happy to just go... Our Charladon would lose to the ground types. I think I'm happy to just go Grimmsnarl to kind of pivot around and bring all my offense. I'm expecting them to bring the Pelipper. I think they're more reliant on it than I am. Is this as bad into... I rather lead Meganium or Charladon? I think our Charladon. I think we want, like, if the goal is to be setting him up, I think we want to have him on the board a bit earlier. I think this is fine. So 1748, they're on a couple of win streak. This would get us a good chunk of our thanks back. Pelipper or Charladon. Okay. It's okay with me. A lot of times these Pelippers can't protect. If they are protect, they usually focus sash, but quite often there's Citrus Berry and Wide Guard no protect. So I think we can, you know, somewhat reasonably predict a Swampert switching in to the Pelipper slot. I am somewhat happy to go for... I don't think we care about giving them stamina boosts on the guy, so I think that we can go for Electro Shot into... Am I hard reading if they protect or switch? I think I am. I'm just going to go fake out Electro Shot into our Charladon, give them a billion stamina boosts. They didn't switch or protect, so I guess I could have just Electro Shot at the Pelipper. Maybe this was a bad play then. They wear the ball to Grimmsnarl, it's whatever. I could have just taken their Pelipper on turn 1, though. That's a crazy play to make to me. And then we will Electro Shot into the Charladon. If though sure, these Pelipper, these Rain players, they love to make the switch into the immunity, you know what I mean? They love to bait the Pelipper into Swampert. They love to bait the, oh my gosh, that's quite a bit. Did we crit? No? I just don't know my Rain calcs at all, as you guys have probably noticed. And so, they're at 57%. Did they get Leftovers healing? I don't think I saw Leftovers healing. They're not bulky at all. But tell us anything? Do I have enough time for calking? I might. Our Traludon. Let's add Aura Sphere onto our Charladon and go into an opposing our Traludon. Electro Shot. Aura Sphere from here would KO. I'm happy to go for the surprise Aura Sphere. And I guess just Parting Shot into Pelipper. Right? Protect, that's okay. Parting Shotting the Pelipper. They could go for Weather Ball or Hurricane, so we are not safe to switch in Meganium here. We do have to go Bask and risk essentially a Hurricane Confusion. So we'll make that play. I don't expect an attack to be going into our Charladon. I don't think they want to give us stamina boosts, given that they almost certainly have Swamp looking back. And yes, it's just Weather Ball, which is nice, so we don't have to risk the confusion, and obviously resist the attack. Aura Sphere comes out. So, our Charladon now knows we have Aura Sphere, which isn't great. They have 2 Ghost types in the back that they could switch in to a potential Aura Sphere, but they have not shown much willingness to make those types of switches yet. So I'm curious if I expect them not to do it now. I'm just going to Dragon Pulse, and then... What do I do with this guy? I don't really want to let him KO me. I think I'm just going to go back into Grimmsnarl with this. If they kill it, that's fine. Grimmsnarl's sort of done his job, giving us some advantageous positioning. They do make the switch. So we were correct not to Aura Sphere. This will be Bask or Sinistcha. It's Bask, so Dragon Pulse. We could have made the hard call and Electro Shotted, but I was happy to hedge for a Sinistcha switch. So Dragon Pulse will be good chip. It also would have just been more damage into our Charladon if they had chosen to stay in. And so now we're in a pretty good position. They haven't shown us Swampert yet. They did just protect the Pelipper, so they did reveal protect, meaning they're likely Focus Sash. They could switch into either Swampert or Tralodon. Both would take a Electro Shot reasonable. Like, both would obviously take the Electro Shot. Ski Legion can Aqua Jet my Grimmsnarl, but I have Fake Out on this turn, so I think I'm happy to Dragon Pulse and Fake Out here, knowing that they're unlikely to attack my Artralodon because they don't want to give us stamina boosts. So they Wave Crash, they take that KO, do a little bit of recoil to themselves. Again, they were just willing to let me Electro Shot the slot. It's hard to get a read on their play pattern when they're Life Orb. So they might also be Swift Swim, which is important to keep in mind. I don't think +1 Dragon Pulse will KO Pelipper. It's not bulky. Yeah, okay, so they were probably sashed. Oh, the crit might have mattered. Let's actually take a look at that. Into like a Focus Sash Pelipper. A +1 Dragon Pulse. Oh, no, that crit did not matter. Okay. So, their Basky Legion is Life Orb, leading me to believe that it could be Swift Swim just like our Basky Legion. We know they have Swampert on the board. I think I'm happy to go Arbask, because we're not threatened by... The only thing we're threatened by on our Basky Legion side is a Last Respects, if they are also Swift Swim and faster than us. And their Basky Legion would be threatened by, presumably, an Aqua Jet, right? In the Rain, Life Orb. So we have Basky Legion into Basky Legion in the damage calculator. In the Rain, an Aqua Jet is, yes, KOing from this range. So I risk Protect an Earthquake in this position. And because of that, I think I'm happy to double Protect. Kind of scout out what they want to do, scout for any potential protects on their end, because we are threatening a KO into their Basky Legion, which is important. Both down our Rain Setters. They've got their Artralodon in the back at 57%. So we protect first on Basky Legion. We'll see if anybody protects on their end. No, nobody protects on their end. Okay. So they were not Protect EQing. They were Last Respecting and going for their high horsepower. Oh, they were EQing, so they're just going to KO their own Basky Legion. That can't be correct. Oh my, that cannot be correct. We are specifically EV trained on this Basky Legion. Okay, it's immediately okay. Alright. I don't know if that was a misclick or if they just forgot that EQ is a self-target, but we were in a really good spot, right? Because they KO their Basky Legion there. They centered our Artralodon. We saw the speed interaction earlier. We know we're faster than their Artralodon with ours, which means that we can always KO it with an Aura Sphere, and we are specifically EV trained to always outspeed, max speed, adamant. Swampert with our own Basky Legion, and we're threatening it with a lot of damage with a Wave Crash. It's a KO most of the time if the Rain is still up. If the Rain is not still up, it's a lot of damage, and then he can never KO our Meganium in the back before we get to Solar Beam it. And so, decent little redemption game there. And yeah, let's get into Reflection. Hey y'all. Thanks for staying to the end for those who watched this. I think, all things considered, those games went reasonably well. I'm not the most experienced Rain player in the world, as you guys can probably tell, and I don't think that those games were particularly well piloted by me. In Game 1, there's just no reason for me to let Politoed go down there. Like, Meganium and Grimmsnarl, after watching it back, are pretty clearly the least important pieces. Once they get down to their final two Pokemon, right, I'm supposed to switch in that Grimmsnarl and sack it instead of the Politoed, and then just try to get an Ancient Power off with Meganium or even a Solar Beam or something like that. I probably go down. Unless they like miss a Heat Wave or something, but I just don't need the piece anymore, right? Because then I get to reset the weather with Politoed and Basky Legion. We had already broken the Focus Sash with the Icy Wind on that turn, and so we can just Last Respects into that guy, and then Charizard would always die to a Weather Ball because of our offensive investment on the Choice Scarf set, and so that was the more guaranteed endgame. I also, like, even after that mistake, I didn't play perfectly right because I fake outed the Charizard and then solar beamed the Basculegion when the Charizard had just protected. So if they had like protected their Basculegion in that spot, I was opening myself up for another opportunity to lose, whereas it's much safer odds-wise for me to fake out double the Charizard, and even if they take a KO into either slot the following turn, like my Swiftstone Basculegion will always outspeed their Basculegion. So 2 mistakes on back-to-back turns gave them potentially an opening to win. It ended up working out, but like it just wasn't perfectly piloted. But even so, like the team we constructed was strong enough into, you know, the traditional Big Six archetype to allow us room to make some mistakes and still put ourselves in a winning position, which I think is a testament to Mega Meganium strength in particular. And so game 3, the one we lost, Vivillon's tough, man. I just didn't put enough respect in team preview into Vivillon, and I just led 2 Pokemon slower than it that can be put to sleep or get knocked out by Hurricane, and that's not good. Usually when there's a Sleepmon on the opposing team, you want a way to move before it, and I did not lead with that, and so it just got to gain a lot of ground, and I had to kind of reposition for several turns and just kind of slowly get chipped away, and they ended up with an advantage that won them the game. And so a little bit unfortunate in that regard, but otherwise, you know, especially for being an archetype I'm not super experienced with, I thought the games went reasonably well. I was happy with Meganium's performance and Politoed's performance as well. One of the reasons I wanted to do this video in particular is because a friend of mine, he's got a YouTube channel as well. It's called Amphion. I'll try to link it in the description below, or potentially even put it on screen. He saw my last video, and he's a trading card guy, and he likes to do collections and binders and that sort of thing. It's a really awesome collection. You should check him out if you have any interest in that kind of stuff. He actually made a binder page of the Aurora's team that we uploaded last week, which I thought was super cool. And so I sent him a message, and I was like, send me your 3 favorite Pokemon in Champions right now. And he sent it to me, and Politoed was on the list. I think it was number 2, and I really wanted to make a team using one of his favorite guys. And it just so happened that I thought it could work out well with one of the Mons that my partner likes quite a bit. And so super cool to get to use that team. And yeah, with that said, I won't keep you guys any longer. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did and you've stayed this far, I really appreciate it. But feel free to consider leaving a like or subscribing to the channel. And if you have interest in this kind of series where we try to take Mons that aren't super common and give them some love and see what they can do in the format, then consider checking out some of the other videos on the channel. You know, we just last week did a video with Auroras, who was so sick. I mean, it was actually really good relative to what I was expecting. And so, yeah. Thank you so much. I'll talk to y'all soon.